the deal, man? It's your boy Tag from Pro Wrestling Tag. You know what I mean? I hope you guys are having a good Saturday so far. I mean, it's cloudy here in Brooklyn, here in Fort Greene, Brooklyn. But what the fuck are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, I see it's raining in the city. Because I'm looking at NYC Drive, which is the channel where they give a lot of like camera shots of different parts of New York City, for traffic and such. They give like the weather and such, but they give like different camera views of actual, New York City street events, not events, but the New York City streets live as it progresses, and I'm seeing, that it's cloudy and such. Even when I stepped outside, it looked a little dark. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It looked a little dark, but it is what it is. I'm here because I'm surprised that nobody has brought this up at all when we're talking about the different match types that you see out in wrestling today, right? You see a whole bunch of different match types that people urge and they yearn for, right? That people love, and some of the match types that people love the most, especially in today's wrestling, is like, the G1, aka the Continental Classic, which is birthed from the G1 AEW. Blood and Guts, / War Games, WWE War Games and such, and other match concepts that you see out, right? Like, spin the wheel, make the deal, the dark collar matches and such. And a lot of people seem to forget that all of those are basically from WCW. All these different matches actually was birthed from WCW. Even a match like, let's say, let me see, what's another match that, like, I think 3 Stages of Hell, which was basically, WCW's Triple Threat Theater. WCW created these matches. And I know you're wondering, like, wait a minute, Tag, hold on a minute, hold up. I know about War Games, I know about, spin the wheel, make the deal, but come on, B, they never created a motherfucking G1. Stop the cap. Like, now you're dick sucking WCW. Stop the cap. They did. They actually did. They did a round robin tournament, right? They did a round robin tournament, back in the days, right? And I'm gonna dive deep into it, right? So WCW, which was the NWA at the time, they didn't conform into WCW yet, right? This was, and no. They actually, okay. So at the time, Jim Crockett Promotions sold the NWA along with stuff from the NWA that's connected to the NWA, like Mid-Atlantic and let me see, it was Mid-Atlantic and Georgia Championship Wrestling with the UWF, right? Mid-South. And I do believe Florida Championship Wrestling might have also been in that umbrella too, right? When they sold it to Turner Broadcasting, they changed everything to WCW, right? And Matt, let me just say this for the record. God, do I miss WCW. Like, a lot of people don't realize how important WCW was. A lot of people seem to forget how big WCW was, especially in the 90s. Like, y'all see where, for all you youngins out there that y'all keep hearing about WCW, I don't care about WCW, a dead company. Look, I wasn't there for WCW. AEW was better, blah, 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 all this other bullshit, right? So let me give y'all a little quick history lesson, okay? When you see AEW now, right, it's exactly what you see WCW as at that time. Like, they was up there with the WWF at the time, right? They was the true alternative to the WWF at that time. At that time. You know what I'm saying? But, of course, unfortunately, they went under and such. And a lot of WWE's DNA. A lot. I mean, WCW's DNA. A whole lot. In almost every aspect is in WWE's programming, you know, as you see. Going from 2002 up. A lot. But they created, you know, WCW at the time, which was the NWA, before they conformed everything to World Championship Wrestling, because they had a show called World Championship Wrestling before they changed the name, right? Or maybe they might. I gotta go back and look. I know either they were called WCW or they were on the verge of calling themselves WCW. But anyway, they had a Starrcade in '89, right? Called Future Shock, and in that Future Shock pay-per-view, they had a round robin. A single wrestler round robin and a tag team round robin by the name of the Iron Man Tournament. Now, the Iron Man Tournament is the exact same way how you see the G1, you know, except like there's no pools. There was no pools. It was just, you know, 4 wrestlers going at it on the single side and then 4 teams going at it on the tag side, right? With a point system. I think pins were 25, submissions were 20. Pins were 20, submissions were 15. I think disqualifications were 10 and countouts were 5, and I think 0 for the draw. But WCW started that. Not the G1, because the G1 always started in Japan. But we're talking about like round robin wrestling matches in America. WCW started that. They started that. Now, they were the ones who started that, okay? The Stadium Stampede show that you see AEW do, right? Where do you think that shit came from? WCW. The Bunkhouse Stampede, WCW. The NWA, WCW, right? We also know about, we also know about fucking, you know, Blood and Guts and War Games. The thing with Blood and Guts and War Games is, you know, WWE kind of altered the War Games rules and such, and they got no cage. So they altered the rules, you know, to make it their own. Whereas in AEW Blood and Guts, they took the rules from WCW and applied it into their stuff. You know, they still kept the original along with the cage. But, you know, also, you know, spin the wheel, make the deal, right? You see that in fucking MLW, right? See that MLW. Where do you think that shit came from? WCW, motherfucker. WCW. And let me go back a little bit more further, right? First Blood, right? You would think, oh, the WWF had, you know, started the First Blood match. They started that. You know, they started the match. Not necessarily. Even though WCW did not, you know, do the actual match, in the Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal gimmick match, right? First Blood was actually on the wheel. It was actually on the wheel. This was like 92, 93, you know, and it's not a bad concept. Like, look, Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal was not a bad concept at all. It's not, you know, not at all. You know, WWE, what they did was, when they had the Raw Roulette, you know, they took a variety of matches and put it in that wheel. They put it in that wheel. So basically, a lot of the matches that you see in Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal, right? They wound up making WWE television, I think, with the exception of Coal Miner's Glove. I mean, it's ridiculous. Coal Miner's Glove, you know, it was just a match where, you know, they had a glove on the pole, and whoever gets the glove, you know, they can use it ferociously on their opponent, you know. But WCW, like I said, WCW was ahead of its time in a lot of match concepts, and even still to this day, people look up to WCW for inspiration. Even stage sets. You know, I remember WCW being the first, the NWA/WCW being the first to use pyro and such in their you know, for their entrances and such. That was all WCW. Like WCW changed the game in a lot of ways that people still do to this day, including WWE. You know, even TNA. You know, oh, that's another thing too. I forgot to mention this. I almost forgot to mention this too. So you know the tunnels, you know those entrance tunnels that you see TNA use, you know, with the Impact Zone and also AEW. WCW started that. If you look at like the worldwide shows from I think the MGM Grand when they started going into the Disney tapings and such, not the MGM Grand, when they did the Disney tapings, when they did stuff in I think Universal Studios, right? If you look at those worldwide tapings, they had an entrance tunnel, B. They had a motherfucking entrance tunnel. You can see it. You can see it for yourself. They were the first ones to start that too. You know what I mean? So WCW was ahead of its time in a lot of shit. You know what I mean? But yo, I'm gonna definitely head out. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take a shower. Then I'm gonna relax, guy. I go to the supermarket, but I will catch up maybe later tonight with another video. Maybe. I'm not sure. It depends how I'm feeling. Alright? It depends if there's news out. Alright? Peace!